Oh my God.
And so this is the Wisconsin wrap-up show. So we got to day one. We arrived to Wisconsin. We got to meet some of the team members from Travel Wisconsin. We went to a brewery. Let's see, do we know the name of the brewery?
Yes, it was
Tap Rock.
Yeah.
Tap Rock Brewing in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin, which is where we stayed. Low-key first night, but we definitely had a good time. And you guys had your first fried cheese curd experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to do. So you got to go to the Western Terminus in St. Croix Falls at Borders. Let's see, what is this? Border Park?
Interstate Park.
Interstate Park.
Because we saw Minnesota.
Yes.
That's right.
It's right across the way.
Yeah. So you hike past the boundary of the park where there's the official terminus, and they have the giant potholes, and you get an amazing view of St. Croix River, which like blew us away.
And it was just cool. Like that first view was like, oh crap, this is our week. Like this is awesome. It was like a little storybook.
It was a storybook. Had brunch at Cafe Ren, and then we meandered to our first hike of the trip, like true overnighter. That was the Chippewa moraine segment.
It was really pretty.
Yeah.
Lots of very beautiful leaves. We left from the interpretive center.
I honestly think pound for pound, this was probably my favorite day of hiking. We got to the campsite probably a couple miles to the southeast, I forget the direction, of the interpretive center. And we're just blessed with the most beautiful sunset that you could imagine. We're right off of our own pond, private pond. The thing that we were doing there is it was a yin and a yang. We were doing the trail and then enjoying the trail communities. We went to the town of Cornell. We didn't spend a ton of time in Cornell, but shout out to Dylan's Dairy.
This is a place that made us breakfast that doesn't serve breakfast.
She goes, oh, honey, we haven't made breakfast in a couple of years. We're like, oh.
We're like, okay, we'll just go next door. She goes, oh, but we got, and she starts listening. We got some eggs back here, and I found some bacon, and
proceeded to make probably the best breakfast of the trip.
The most impromptu menu. They came back there, like, so what we can do is.
After that, we started driving to Ringgold, or Wausau/Ringgold.
Then we realized it was getting dark and we had a little bit of backpacking to do. So, of course, the next thing we do, go to Culver's.
Yep.
And we did our quick little hike. What was the Ringgold that first night? I want to say like 5 miles?
It was longer. I think we did
This was the one that we
7 miles.
Did beer in hand the whole hike. Because we did our little...
Me
and Elise did.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do it.
This is when we did our little stone
Chaunce,
hop.
what happened to your leg on that hike?
You don't want to know what happened to me in the parking lot first?
Oh, yeah, I do.
In regards to
I very much
cheese?
do.
1 in 47 odds. I have to eat a bag of cheese right now. It was to the point that I couldn't swallow without gagging. So I had to stand there and my tongue couldn't taste it anymore. I was going to throw up. So I had to stand there chewing with my teeth with my mouth wide open so that I wouldn't have to taste it. I was just chewing to spit back out. There was a 90% thought in my head that there's no way I'm leaving this parking lot without throwing up cheese everywhere.
Yeah. How's it going?
Not good. That was the night we night hiked.
This is when the Blair Witch comes out.
So this night we night hiked, and because we're hiking while the sun's setting.
Chaunce did not bring a headlamp.
No one had a headlamp.
Correction, I had a headlamp.
I had a headlamp too.
I was under the impression no one else had a headlamp because no one put it on.
Oh, that part is true, but we had headlamps.
So me and Elise drank 4 beers on this hike. It was only 4 miles, so we did a beer mile. And the sun is setting as we're hiking, and here's the part where I can't agree with you, because we were talking about when you're so stubborn that you're trying to out macho each other in terms of who needs to put on their headlamp first. I can still see. We weren't actually saying this to each other, but we were talking about the concept of having that type of, I'm not putting it on first, or I'm good. It's not too dark for me. And it got so dark that I tripped over something and absolutely ate shit again. And this time, the bruises are the size of cheeseburgers.
I can measure it in sound. Chaunce was probably 20-ish yards behind Elise and
My
I.
shin got sliced open.
Yeah, and we heard Chaunce go, oh shit, and then it was loud. It was impactful.
I didn't have my hands. I was holding a beer.
Yeah. But still not the story of what happened to Chaunce's face.
Yep, still not there yet.
But we got to camp. Elise and I were in great shape, no bruises or anything. But to paint a picture of how autumn it was while we were out there, it sounded like it was raining on our tents with the rate at which leaves were falling onto our tents all night long.
Yeah.
Okay, so leave Delafield. We did another odds this morning. So we got to the end of our segment and chased it. Yikes. Yikes. Chased it with I would say a soft race, just like a run. We'll call it a run. Look how sweaty I am. You can smell me through the video.
That's fun.
You guys went far.
Okay, so we ran. What's next? Oh, we went to our first fish fry, and I'm going to say I think this was my favorite of the ones that we went to. Shout out to the Hilltop. If you guys are ever driving through Stevens Point, I cannot recommend this place enough.
Fish fry Hilltop.
Yeah.
Luke wanted to know how odds worked.
What just happened?
I lost odds, and on Thursday I have to hike in a leather thong.
6. You need big dick.
Yes, that's it.
I think that's the one.
Yeah.
And I'll take a quick moment here to pause and remind my mom that this is no different than bathing suit bottoms.
Out of the Bone Lake segment. We did
It was
this
really
quickly.
pretty.
Yeah.
Bone Lake was really pretty.
Yeah.
Bone like BOHN. The whole time I thought it was like bone, like a little dog bone.
So we did the meetup at the Delafield Brew House, and honestly, it was a blast. It was, I mean, no shocker there. We got to meet so many people from the area who were out doing the Mammoth Hike Challenge. Chaunce did her famed carnival barking.
I did carnival bark.
Nice gift from the Ice Age Trail Alliance. If you are looking to do the trail soon, we've got a guidebook.
But meetup was a ton of fun. Great success. Thanks to everyone who made it. The next day, go to Whitewater. We go to the Sweet Spot Cafe. We pick up more Culvers because we're preparing for another overnighter. And this is when we start our longest segment of the trip.
And we had 15.2 miles to hike. We had to do all of it that afternoon because we were camping at a shelter too at the very end of this segment. So it wasn't like, oh, we can just do 7. And I was starting to really feel the hangover.
I think we had to do that. We had to average I think I remember calculating it at
3 miles an hour at least before.
I think it
Was it
dark.
that much?
Yeah, because I think that's what we ended up doing, and we got there right at sunset.
Okay, so here's the thing: is I was walking at a much faster pace than 3 miles an hour. I was walking closer to 4, if I know myself like I know my treadmill. But we stopped in the middle of it to meet Luke, and
We picked up our guest, the real hiking Viking.
picked up Jabba, and then had a beer or two. And
So yeah, we do the last 5 or so miles with Jabba.
underwear. As I would like to remind my mom, it is no different than a bathing suit bottom.
And then we wrapped it at Shelter number 2 had an amazing view.
We did have, this is when Luke had set us up with an amazing assortment of beef and cheese. And I cut it all up into like a hiker trash charcuterie board.
We watched football.
And it was the bougiest night we had for
Super
sure.
bougie. It was, okay, so we're now at Friday, which is technically our last day of the Ice Age Trail portion of the trip. Devil's Lake is the busiest, very pretty. It's definitely the busiest section of the entire Ice Age Trail. But the lake itself is gorgeous. We had a rock skipping competition.
Oh, that's a good one.
Wow.
That's world class, dude.
I guess we saw the balanced rock, which is the most photographed point of the entire trail. We do a quick zoom over to Fitz's on the Lake.
Wait, the car ferry.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
That was very cool.
It's the only moving part of the Ice Age Trail.
The ferry was cool. Nice little short free ride.
Live podcast was great. Shout out to everyone that came. We had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Raised a lot of good money for the Ice Age Trail. Hop House was great. Now we know what live podcasts are like.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your face?
So we leave the live podcast, and I'm a little sleepy, so I don't want to walk anymore. And Jabba graciously offers me a ride, a ride, like a piggyback ride. Not a car ride. That'd be incredibly irresponsible. A piggyback ride.
To the Uber.
To the Uber.
Which was 6 feet away.
All right, guys. Well, we didn't make it all 6 feet.
I think Chaunce's face hurt me more than it hurt her.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do at that point? You wake up, you look in the mirror, you're busted. Like, your face is just, like, smashed. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a great attitude. You handled it.
Yeah, you honestly
Amazingly well.
handled it so much better than I would have handled it.
The running joke of the day was like, I really had the potential to ruin the day here, guys.
You kept going, should I ruin the day?
Should I just, like, ruin the day,
Yeah.
guys?
So I don't want to go too deep into Madison because it doesn't directly pertain to the hike portion too much.
I mean, it was a fun day. We went to the Badgers game. We went down to the water and enjoyed some brats. Jabba rubbed mustard all over my face because I said I couldn't possibly look any worse. And he said, yes, you can. And then he rubbed mustard all over my face. And then it was true. I could look worse.
All in all, Saturday was a ton of fun. Very long, way too short of sleep. You guys didn't die too much during our retelling of our Wisconsin trip. I know like inside stories are oftentimes only funny to the people who are inside of it, but we legitimately had a blast. I couldn't endorse the trip that we had more. It was 10 out of 10. I'm going to go 11 out of 10. Fuck it, give it the extra one. Do you guys have any final thoughts on the Wisconsin trip at large?
Just want to play the beaver clip.
Get pills or filter your water because you're going down tummy ache alley.
Some of us also call it Beaver Town.
He's gonna quit on the spot.
Thanks so much for listening and happy hiking.
Bye.
Bye.